Well, hello, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to Rule of Two Review. So, the Game Awards happen this coming Thursday, December 1st. It's become the annual thing to expect these last few years. The Game Awards has had a pretty turbulent life. For anyone who can remember back to the first year that the show was put on, hosted by Jeff Keighley. He's kind of been sort of the grandfather of the whole project. Then we know, I think it was the second year that was the VGX, which was a complete debacle. One of the absolute worst things I've ever seen happen in the gaming industry, and really unfortunate too, because I had high hopes for that being pretty cool. Now the last few years, they've kind of stripped it down to its more bare essentials, and it is what it is. We all know what to expect. We've kind of seen it come and go, and we've seen it grow into what it is. And again, we know Jeff Keighley is kind of the one who's put this whole thing together and is really pushing for it to be something serious and something that people take seriously, people enjoy, something that's considered as sort of meaningful. And I think that's interesting. I think it's a lot of fun. I know it's kind of the cool thing to hate on it, and it's like kind of ridiculous, and it hasn't quite yet gotten itself to the point where it maybe can be considered completely valuable, but I still think it's a good old-fashioned time. It's a reason to have a couple of hours to watch a bunch of people within the gaming industry talk about gaming. The music industry has it, the movie industry, the soap opera, TV, the live stage performing industry. All of these industries have these kinds of events, and regardless of if it's like legitimate or if the things you want to see represented are represented or they win or not. Like, if you don't really care about that and you just look at it as an excuse to watch a couple of hours of game-related stuff and new previews and trailers, I think it's a fine time. So anyway, what I wanted to do today is sort of a quick fire of the categories that I think are the most interesting to me, which is most of the main ones. There's a couple that probably aren't here, but I wanted to just quick fire all the categories, the nominees, and just tell you who I think is going to win. I'm not necessarily talking about what I want to win. I'm just going I'm going for actual predictions. So this is like if you're going to Vegas and putting money on the odds, that's what I'm talking about, not really what I want to win. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be a quick fire sort of thing, just for fun, shits and giggles. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, coming in first, Game of the Year. Yep, you see those nominees. Who do I think is going to win? It's Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 is going to win. I think Overwatch actually has this weird sort of potential to kind of sneak in and be the winner because it's been such a phenomenon. But really, Uncharted 4 is going to win. And of this list, it probably should win. Coming up next is Best Game Direction, which is basically like Best Director. You can see these nominations here. And Overwatch, Battlefield 1, Doom, Uncharted 4, Titanfall 2. You guys, Uncharted 4 is going to win this as well. And again, I've played 3 of these games. I think Battlefield maybe has a chance, but it's not going to be Battlefield. It's going to be Uncharted 4. And just like the last category, it should be Uncharted 4. Best Narrative. This is kind of an interesting category and something that I think is pretty neat. Firewatch, Inside Mafia 3, Oxenfree, Uncharted 4. I mean, again, it's Uncharted 4, you guys. I guess Mafia maybe has a chance. I haven't played it. I'm sorry, Inside probably has a very good chance. Definitely a good chance with Inside. So I'm going to call that one kind of a tie between either Inside or Uncharted 4. But again, probably Uncharted. It's just been the Uncharted 4 show so far. But you know what? Uncharted 4 is a pretty big deal. And it's a really excellent, wonderful game. Anyway, let's move on to Best Art Direction. Abzu, Firewatch, Inside, Overwatch, Uncharted 4. I want to say Uncharted 4 is another lock, but I think that both Inside or Abzu have a pretty decent shot. I don't know too much about Overwatch or Firewatch, so unfortunately I can't add too much to that conversation. But of these games, I know Abzu has definitely a pretty good chance because that really was a pretty neat looking game from an art direction standpoint. Remember, that's different than Best Game or Best Direction or whatever. So honestly, it might not even be Uncharted 4. I'm going to call this one a tie between either Abzu or Inside. One of those two is going to win. Best Music or Sound Design would be one of my favorite categories if I had more insight into these games. I've only played the one of them. You can see Battlefield 1, Doom, Inside, Rez Infinite, and Thumper. I don't even know what those last 2 games are. I do not play enough indie games to have insight into those, unfortunately. But I still feel like if it was going to go to one of these, it's probably going to go to Inside. Maybe Inside, maybe Battlefield 1. That's a tough call. But if I'm just going to pick, I'm going to pick Inside because everyone loves that freaking game. Best Performance, of course, we're talking about voice performance here, voice casting. We have someone from Mafia 3, Firewatch, 2 from Uncharted 4, 3 from Uncharted 4, and another character from Firewatch. So 2 from Firewatch, 3 from Uncharted 4. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Nolan North is going to win because he's Nolan North, and he is excellent. So any Uncharted haters out there need to kind of stop and take a step back, look in the mirror, and realize at the end of the day, Nolan North as a voice actor and Nathan Drake as a character are both excellent. They are perfect for each other. Nolan North embodies that character, and that's part of what makes the character so great, beyond just how well he's written and executed. So that's what's going to win. It's like, in this category, Nolan North is the Steven Spielberg of the Oscars. That's just the way it's going to work. I guess some of these other characters might have something to add to the conversation. I would love for it not to be such a slam dunk so that some other people can get recognized, but I sure as hell wouldn't put my money on it. If you want to go to Vegas and put money on this category, you're putting it on Nolan North. Best independent game, obviously it's like, Rob, why would you even talk about this category? You don't play many indie games, and that's true, and I haven't played any of these, but I still think that I can predict the winner. Firewatch, Hyperlight Drifter, Inside, Stardew Valley, The Witness. I have of course heard of all of those. I think any of those last three, Inside, Stardew Valley, or The Witness, have a chance to win. But come on, guys, it's going to be Inside. Best mobile or handheld game. This is an interesting and very fun category. You have Clash Royale, Fire Emblem Fates, Monster Hunter Generations, Pokemon Go, or Severed. Of course, the first and the last are obviously some sort of mobile game, like for your phones. Wouldn't know anything about those. But those middle three are interesting. Fire Emblem, Monster Hunter Generations, and Pokemon Go. All really excellent 3DS games. Fire Emblem Fates has a really good chance of winning this and probably should win. But I feel like it's going to be Pokemon Go because it just speaks to the masses, and that's unfortunately kind of what the Game Awards is still trying to do. Best VR game, I don't even know why I put this category here. Probably just because it was something to talk about, just kind of an interesting category, even though I have not tried VR. I don't really think VR is like supposed to be the bee's knees that's going to change the video game industry like a lot of people do. But it is a big hot thing right now, and I certainly am still curious to play it. As I say, every time I disparage VR, I do want to try it so that I actually know. But when you look at these games, Batman Arkham VR, Eve, Valkyrie, Job Simulator, Res Infinite, and Thumper, honestly, I don't even know what to pick, so I probably shouldn't have put this category here. So I'm just going to go with what I know. Batman. Best action game. Now this one gets me excited because I love the category and I love the game choices here. Battlefield 1, Doom, Gears of War 4, Overwatch, or Titanfall 2. So obviously I've played Doom, Gears of War 4, and Titanfall 2. All three of those are so excellent. What is going to win? I think it's going to be, honestly, Overwatch. Overwatch is probably going to win because Overwatch has been such a phenomenon. But I guess Overwatch as another category might have a better shot of winning, so let me not fully put all my chips under Overwatch for this specific category. I think Doom or but Battlefield. Oh my god, this is a tight one. I haven't played Battlefield. I don't really care for Battlefield, but the industry loves Battlefield, and they have been gobbling up Battlefield 1, so I can't disparage it. I think the tightest race here is between Battlefield, Doom, and Overwatch. I think, honestly, I want to say Doom, but it's going to be Battlefield 1. That's what I'm putting my money on for this category, Battlefield 1. Best adventure game. Dishonored 2, Hitman, Hyperlight Drifter, Ratchet & Clank, Uncharted 4. I wish I knew what this Hyperlight Drifter game is. I've heard the title a million times, but I've never seen anything on it. Uncharted's gonna win. I love that Ratchet & Clank or Dishonored are getting some love, and I know that actually Hitman's supposed to be very good. But if you're going up against Uncharted, with the rare exception, you're going to lose. And I feel like in this category, they might want to just kind of be cool. And since we know Uncharted's probably going to win Game of the Year in some of the bigger categories, maybe they'll give it to something a little bit more deserving in a different way, like a Ratchet & Clank. And I'd be happy to see that happen. But Uncharted 4 is probably still the best game of these five, and it's probably going to win. Best RPG. This is a fun and exciting category for a couple of reasons. Dark Souls 3, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, The Witcher, DLC, World of Warcraft, DLC, or Xenoblade Chronicles X. What a nice, awesome surprise to see Xenoblade thrown in there, because we all know it just barely missed the cutoff to make it into last year's show, and we were all very disappointed by that because we knew it was going to be great, and it was like, well, why isn't Xenoblade being considered for Best RPG in 2015 when it actually came out? Because it was like the last 3 weeks of the year. But they were awesome enough to recognize that that game was great, does qualify for this year's show, and they've included it. And because it's so rare, especially in 2015 and 2016, to see Wii U games represented at all here, because there hasn't really been very many, I think that that's pretty awesome. So major props to them for recognizing Xenoblade, major props to it for it getting nominated. The other two, The Witcher and WoW, is interesting because it's DLC, and like, You can, like, poo-poo and cry all about it, and it is stupid, I agree, but, like, who cares? Just whatever. They're not going to win. I mean, maybe they want to just keep kissing the butt of The Witcher 3, but I feel like The Witcher 3 is not going to win this. The other three I own and have played: Dark Souls, Deus Ex, Xenoblade. All three are spectacular, wonderful games that are damn near 10s out of 10s. I would cry tears of joy to the moon and back if Xenoblade won. And I do think it's possible Xenoblade could win this. It probably is, as far as straight up RPGs, the best game here, except for maybe WoW, because I know WoW is just supposed to be great. Xenoblade is the most straight up actual RPG of these games for sure, because there's a lot of action, adventure, and shooting elements in these other categories. So really, Xenoblade Chronicles X is the most RPG of these. However, I don't think it's gonna win. And honestly, the game I want to win, even as a diehard Nintendo fan, you know what it is. It's Dark Souls. I would love to see Dark Souls 3 win because I'm a Dark Souls fanboy, and I have no problem saying that. If I was going to put my money on it, Dark Souls 3 or The Witcher might win. They might still be kissing The Witcher's ass, which I think is stupid because it's DLC. Absolutely stupid. But so I'm not even going to go there. You know what I'm going to say? Dark Souls 3, that's my pick, with a surprise upset by Xenoblade Chronicles X. Best fighting game. Ooh, this is a fun category. Killer Instinct Season 3, King of Fighters 14, Pokken Tournament, and Street Fighter 5. Another Wii U game represented. Pretty darned cool. Street Fighter is going to win this, you guys. And I know it's stupid that Street Fighter wins this. Street Fighter was very controversial. Street Fighter wasn't complete. Didn't release with everything it was supposed to. Was very disappointing to a lot of people. It's going to win because that's the game that gets the attention. And there are times in the Game Awards where I can see the most deserving winning, and then there are times where I can see the one that, I can't say not is paid, but the one that has the most money backing, marketing, and kind of oomph behind it, for the show. And this is a category where I think that is going to shine through. On the RPG category, that's something where I could see the actual most deserving game winning for some reason. But on the fighting game, and when you look at these contenders, Street Fighter's gonna win. And I don't want to hate on Street Fighter because I wanted Street Fighter 5 to be great. I love Street Fighter, and I don't know how much they've changed it to make it the game it should have been, but that's why I didn't buy it day one. If it was just a regular old Street Fighter 5 like it was supposed to be, I would have picked it up. But obviously it was a big old mess, and we all know that. However, the Game Awards aren't going to care, and they're going to give this category, mark my words, to Street Fighter 5. Getting close to the end here, this is a very interesting category. Best strategy game. I like this category, and these are all excellent choices and very hard to predict. Civilization 6, Fire Emblem Fates, Banner Saga 2, Total War, Warhammer, and XCOM 2. So Civilization, Fire Emblem, and XCOM all have really good chances of winning this category for the Game Awards. And a couple of years ago, I would have said XCOM 2 was the slam dunk. This year, not so much because it didn't get quite the attention and praise that the first one did a couple of years ago, the first remake, which was a couple of years ago. I want to say Fire Emblem is going to be a shoo-in here, and I love Fire Emblem Fates, so I think it should win, but I think Civilization is probably going to be the game that wins this because Civilization, while I have not played it, I know it's excellent. I know a crazy amount of time goes into those games. I know that they always review through the roof. They are very exceptional and spectacular strategy games specifically for that genre. And I feel like Civilization is the Spielberg, to keep using that analogy, of the strategy genre. So I feel like, honestly, I know a lot of us, we'd all like to see Fire Emblem win, and it's not impossible. Fire Emblem could win, but if I was going to bet, I would put my money on Civ 6. All right, just a couple of more here, guys. Moving on to Best Family Game, and there was some really good games in here, which is why I wanted to include this category. Dragon Quest Builders, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, Pokemon Go, Ratchet & Clank, Skylanders, Imaginators? I haven't heard of that. I don't know what that is. Dragon Quest Builders is like a big deal. I don't know much about it, but a lot of people started talking about it, so it's supposed to be pretty good. However, I like those middle three, Lego Star Wars, Pokemon Go, and Ratchet & Clank. I would love to see Ratchet & Clank destroy this category, and I think it should, but it's not going to, and we all know why, because Pokemon Go is the phenomenon. So Pokemon Go is going to win this category. Best sports/racing game. I have no dog in this fight. I have not played these. I don't even really care about these, but what the hell. FIFA, Forza 3, MLB The Show, NBA 2K17, Pro Evolution Soccer. Like I said, I don't really care, so this is either going to be FIFA or Forza. Best multiplayer game. This is a pretty interesting one here. Battlefield 1, Gears of War 4, Overcooked. What the hell is Overcooked? Overwatch, Titanfall 2, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. This is going to Overwatch. If you don't know that this is going to Overwatch, you're crazy and you haven't been paying attention. 200,000%. It's going to Overwatch. Overwatch is going to win because Overwatch is a multiplayer game that everyone loves. So Overwatch, 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 Overwatch. Most anticipated game was a really fun one, so I was excited to do this. Some really good contenders. God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Mass Effect Andromeda, Red Dead Redemption 2, or Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that one and only game that we all just cannot wait to play. So these are all pretty legitimate, actually, games, and I think that they're all very hyped. They all look really great for what they're going to do. Zelda's going to win this. Zelda's going to win this. Zelda should win this. Zelda's the game that deserves to win this. There's a case to be made for all of these. I am crazy pumped for God of War and Mass Effect, you guys. Like, I really, really am. And Horizon looks great. Red Dead's going to be totally fine. I'm not a huge fan, but I know it's going to be good and everyone's going to love it. But Zelda's going to win this because it's Zelda, and we've been waiting 3.5 freaking years, and this game needs to come out, so Zelda has to win. And lastly, just for fun, because they love to do this stuff nowadays, and it's really just a sign of the times and the internet and the influence of YouTube and stuff like that. Best trending gamer, totally ridiculous category, doesn't matter at all, but when you look at these nominees here, I mean, come on. Give that shit to Boogie. And there you go, guys. My quick fire thoughts on the Game Awards nominations. That's most of the categories. There's a handful that I left out, like I said, because I mean, some of them I probably shouldn't have even done because I have no insight into so many of these games. But I would say overall of this list, I probably have played at least half of them. So at least, you know, I kind of have some idea of what's going on with these games, which games are better than others, which games really have the better chance to win. In other cases, you're just really taking the hype and the press and the marketing and the game that you just know makes sense to win because the Game Awards is a little bit of a commercialized thing, if not a completely commercialized thing. And we know that that's going to influence a lot of these. But again, the interesting thing about the Game Awards and why I enjoy it is because it doesn't matter. Not yet. Maybe another 5 or 10 years down the road, if Jeff Keighley and that team really start focusing and it starts getting some of the accolades it deserves, it might matter and actually have value and help sell games and this and that, the way the Oscars and stuff do. But right now it doesn't. So we're just having fun. We're just having fun, you guys. It's games, it's video games, it's gaming. It's just fun. Don't take it so seriously. And that's why I wanted to do this, is just kind of discuss what I think has the best chance of winning these categories based on my knowledge of the games I've played and my knowledge of the games that I haven't played. So, I don't know, man. I'm probably going to be wrong. Watch me be wrong on every single category, and if I am wrong on every category, I do not care. I had a blast just talking about these games and these categories with you guys. So what do you think? Are you going to be tuning into the Game Awards on Thursday? I definitely am, because like I said, I'm excited for an hour and a half or two of just watching a bunch of gaming related stuff. Probably see some pretty cool trailers. We all know Zelda had the big thing a couple of years ago. So anything is possible at this kind of show, which is what's a lot of fun. So anyway, that's what's up. What do you think about my predictions? What do you predict? Will you be enjoying the show? Will you be not enjoying the show and you hate it because it's just the stupidest thing in the whole world? Tell me your guys' thoughts below. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob with Rule of 2 Review, and I'll catch you guys next time on another video.